Good day, everyone. This is Planet Mules, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Has the Barovian flu stayed away from you?
So far, yes.
Yay!
Now the only thing is, will the Gen Con crud stay away from me?
Ooh, there
That's
is
the
always.
question.
I would say that Is Gen Con considered to be the largest incubator chamber of disease in the...
Pretty much, yes. Yes. So I've got my emergency and I have my hand sanitizer. So we'll see.
Oh, right, we'll see on that. Yes, I remember the time when Role Player was doing Pandemic. I think it was so for Gen Con West, well, I guess when the few times those were held, where they where most of them, when they were coming up for their latest disease, worst disease they had when choosing that as the first player, I think they all had the same Gen Con disease.
Yeah.
Was what they were
I
coming.
can imagine. That's a lot of people spreading all sorts of weird stuff. Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
It's all right.
Apparently, I don't remember there being anything like that for Origins back when I was going there. I guess it was just a smaller convention and didn't.
Well, that could be, yeah. That's
Yeah, we only had East Coast germs there or something.
that might be. Could be.
Let's head into our game news. And yes, we actually do have game news because it appears that they are going to make some changes to the XP tables. Actually, not to the tables. It looks more like they're making the changes to the various bonuses.
Yeah, there was a Lamania build that was up last weekend, and this was one of the things they announced and they were testing. And hey, Gums Gang, thanks for joining us. I don't understand this, but let's just jump into this and see where the cards fall, as it were.
Or the dice, more likely.
Well, hey,
this
there you
game.
go. That's right. See where the dice roll. The thread was put up in the Lamani forums by Coco Majobo. She says, greetings. We have been analyzing our data on quest, completion times, and completion numbers, and we have put together some changes we feel will improve players' game experience throughout the leveling adventures. We realize that experience points and how players earn them can greatly affect a player's game experience, so we want players to understand the changes. And I'm going to add a caveat here. Keep in mind, this is on the Mania. This is in testing. None of this is set in stone. None of this is final. But this is what they propose. First, I want to explain our goals with these changes. The rate of leveling overall should not drop for an average player who is playing a lot of different quests. Players should be rewarded for playing a wide variety of quests instead of repeating quests over and over. Players should not be punished for breaking their regular play pattern to join a group or to help out a friend or guildmate. We want to close some loopholes for optional objectives. As a result of these changes, we hope the more dungeons are viable for normal experience games and that playing through a wide variety of dungeons is more appealing than playing dungeons over and over is less appealing. If you're playing the quest the first time in Heroic, you should get the same experience points as before. In Epic, you will have an additional 5% bonus. Okay.
All right.
So far, so good, right?
So far,
Yep.
so good.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold that thought.
Hold.
We're going to make some XP changes to specific quests to bring them into line with their completion time and difficulty. For quest, we will have their XP lowered. Many of the quests will have the XP raised. The exact list has been added to the bottom of this post, so we'll talk about that in a second. And then, once again, keep in mind, not all specific dungeons XP adjustments are implemented, and not all values are final. We'll get into that. Bravery Streak for both hard and elite will change to hard dungeons. Completed and elite dungeons completed. Bravery streaks will no longer end, and they won't have a chance for ending. You won't need to turn off your streak, or worse, mess up your streak by forgetting. And you
Now,
can freely play at any difficulty without your bravery streak resetting.
I suspect there's no one arguing about this point.
Right. No, that I mean, okay, that's okay. That's fine. And then she clarifies a little bit about bravery streaks. Number 3, increase the daily bonus. To further encourage a diversity of dungeons, the daily bonus will be increased from 20% to 25% for heroic dungeons and 30% for epic dungeons. Okay. All right.
Okay. Considering my style of play, that's
Right.
not going to be all that much of a problem.
Move some of the XP from the first time bonus, which is per difficulty, to the bravery bonus. I don't, as I really don't care about the whole bravery bonus thing. Yeah, I don't like that we're going to lose some of the XP on the first time bonus, but okay.
Well, especially when you say in the normal difficulty is losing 15% there.
Right, yeah. She does say normal difficulty will decrease from 25% to 10%. Hard difficulty will decrease from 40% to 20%. Elite, 80% to 45%. And Reaper difficulty, 120% to 75%. So what the heck does all that mean? On normal, hard, and elite, the first time through a heroic dungeon, including the daily bonus, will be the same as it is on live. The first time through epic dungeons will actually give slightly more XP. This makes the practice of repeating dungeons on each difficulty less attractive than finding a new dungeon. Optional objectives will ransack, and that ransack will not reset over time. They are essentially being changed to a playthrough bonus with ransack only resets with a racial, true, or iconic reincarnation. To compensate, optional objectives will ransack more slowly. With this change, we can add more or make more of them have greater rewards. Note, the reduced rate at which optional objective ransacks has not been changed on Lamania. Okay.
All right.
My issue with this, why are you trying to change players' play styles?
I have a feeling some people are exploiting some optionals.
The optionals I understand because I can think of 3 dungeons off the top of my head that players are quote unquote exploiting the optional objectives. They're going in just doing the optionals and then resetting. Okay. I get if you're actually doing that because that's technically not playing as it intended. But
I would say then that the ransack would only be ticked if by how many times you complete the optional compared to the number of times you completed the whole dungeon.
Right. But okay, so like if I want to go in and farm a dungeon for something, why are you going to punish me for that? Or maybe I like Temple of Elemental Evil and I just want to run Temple of Evil 3 or 4 times in a row. Don't punish me for that. It's my playstyle. I don't understand why it seems like to me they're trying to force a play style on players, unless I'm just reading way too much into this.
How is running Temple of Elemental Evil 4 times in a row going to be impacted by this?
Because the whole ransack thing for optionals.
Okay.
You're going to get less XP.
Oh, for the optionals. Okay.
Yes. And you're going to get less XP for the dungeon itself.
Why?
That's one of the let's talk about the quest change list. Once again, not final values, but the following quests are going to have their XP lowered. Grim and Barrett is going to be
Right.
lowered by 10%. Jungle of Kyber, 10% on heroic. Epic's going to stay the same. Spies in the House, 10% XP lowered. Litany of the Dead, 10% XP lowered. The follow quest will have a major increase. Oh, I'm sorry. The Temple of Elemental Evil is getting a boost.
Yeah,
10,
yeah, that's
yeah,
why I was wondering there.
yeah. I guess the Temple of Elemental Evil was a bad example.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting a
Grim and
boost.
Barrett, though, that you're
Yeah,
running to death.
exactly. Like Grim and Barrett, good example. I run that all the time to get that quiver because my RNG luck. So, and anyway, yeah. So 10 to 20% XP gain in the Temple of Elemental Evil, Precious Cargo, Desire in the Dark, Graveyard Ship, Records of the Past, Strike Back, Third Time's a Charm, Black and Blue, and the newcomers. Minor increases 5 to 10% to a small problem, party casters, the snitch, and under the big top. Detour, rest stop, lost in the swamp, stay at the end of the road. Slave pits of the Undercity, secret of the slaver stockade, assault on the area of the slave lords, Tower of Frost. There you go, Pine Leap. You're going to get less XP for Tower of Frost.
What
Creeping
mean
Death.
less XP for it?
Yep, 5 to
It's a
10%.
yeah,
Oh,
5%, 10% increase.
Oh, increase. Sorry. Then again, I read it wrong. Creeping Death. Monster stats are going to be fixed to be a little easier. Curse the Sky. Against the Demon Queen, Chains of the Flame, the Dreaming Dark. The most of the Underdark quests are going to get a minor increase. So on and so forth. You can read this, but I don't. I just don't get. Okay, I like how they're adjusting some of the XP levels in dungeons, up, because there are some of them that I think, okay, these do give less XP than I think they should. But don't. I just feel like they're forcing a playstyle on me. If I want to run the same dungeon over and over, don't punish me for doing that.
Well, they're already doing that because hasn't had because it looks like the main thing that you're losing. Let's see, the main thing that you'll be losing then are the long term on the optionals
Mm-hmm.
if you're running it over and over. That sounds
And,
like the main thing that you
right.
lose in their thing.
And your first time XP bonus.
Well, but the first time XP bonus is not going to affect dungeons that you run over and over again.
Well, I mean, you'll get
But they
that.
increased it.
You'll get that like the first time you run it.
Right, but then and that's supposed to balance out with the daily.
Right. I don't know. I don't. And
So,
this
so
threat.
yeah, so yeah, because that means the first time you run it should be about the same because you'll be getting both the daily and the XP and the first time. So they're expecting that the first run is going to be the same amount. It's just that on subsequent days you get a little bit more than you would have under the current system.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
and this
it's when you
thread.
ransack that things could be a
Yeah,
problem,
this thread
especially
is
optionals.
all over the place too. I mean, there's some people that are okay with this. There's other people that are like, "Oh my God, this guy is following you. You're going to kill this game."
Well, I mean, for me, of course, this course lands pretty much right smack into my mom's play style. So,
Right.
so I probably shouldn't be talking too much about it.
And I guess the thing I don't like, not that I guess not that it would affect me that much because I really, if I'm like quote unquote farming, like let's say Grim and Barrett just for the quiver, I usually don't do the optionals, so I just go ahead and run straight, run the dungeon, go to the boss. I just skip the optionals.
All right, then sounds like it's not affecting you that much then.
Right, but let's say I want to do those optionals. They're going to ransack, and I can't reset that until I reincarnate. Then again, I don't like that at all because you're forcing a playstyle on somebody.
Well, if you're constantly running the optional, there are one of two reasons for it. Either A, you think it's going to give you a huge amount of XP, and that's what they're targeting, or
Which,
B, you care about a particular drop there, in which case the XP is probably not as important to you in that case.
right, but I don't know. Like I said, I have a lot of problems with this. And then, like I said, going this thread, it's kind of all over the place. I think the biggest bone of contention is the whole optional ransack. The only way to reset that is
Yeah.
the TRs.
All right, I will say that if they I would think that the best way, in my opinion, to handle the optional ransack is it being based on the number of times you've done the optional compared to the number of times you completed the entire dungeon. If it and that and the optional is greater than a certain number on them, then maybe have some sort of hit for that. Because if you're playing the dungeon fairly, that's not going to happen.
Right. So I don't know. So we'll see. Like I said, this is just on Lamania. They had a first pass last weekend. Uh, if you have some time, go read this thread to see what everybody's saying. This thread is like, last I checked, it was like 13 pages long. It's now up to 21 pages long. So it's interesting to see the different views people have. So we'll see. Let us know. Either send us an email at podcastddoplayers.com or leave us a comment either on the YouTube version of this or over on the site what you think about this, what your thoughts are. I, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this. So I guess we'll see.
All right. Then I noticed that you didn't discuss the other stuff on the Mani. Is there anything you have to say? Because I know the Pale Master revamp is also on there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had first look at the Pale Master revamp. They had a look at the Martial Spear and the Primal Spear. And then Reaper difficulty is going to get some changes as well. And we got to look at a few of the new quests, too, and also the name loot.
Hmm.
And I actually didn't get a chance to get on the Mania, so I didn't get to look at any of this.
Okay. So are these, and what kind of quests are they? Are they going to be normal general quests, or some are? Is it going to be a new area?
Oh, let's take a look. It is called, well, I should give a minor spoiler alert here.
Okay.
If you don't want to be spoiled, jump ahead maybe 2 minutes or so. The adventure pack is going to be called the Soul Splitter Adventure Pack. 3 of the 6 quests were available last weekend. And, okay, once again, spoiler alert starts now. In this pack, the players get pulled into an investigation about a Warforged disappearing in Sharn. They start off by searching for Doris, who is an old friend and a lieutenant of the Lord of Blades, who vanished while on a mission from her superior. It turns out that people have been using a modified version of Vaughn's device to rip the souls out of Warforged and turn them into compliant creatures devoid of free will. The Lord of Blades commands the player to figure out who is behind the Soul Splitter and fix the problem, or he'll take his army into Sharn.
So this is essentially Sharn Part 3?
Yeah, you can say that. It sounds like it's all based in Sharn, and it's kind of cool that we're tying in Lord of Blades and Doris. As I said on the Mania last week, 3 of the quests were there. There's going to be 6 in total. It sounds interesting just from the sounds of it, so I'm excited to check this
Yeah.
out. Either
What
on an
levels?
17 and 28, I do believe.
Okay, 17. Yeah, so Part 3 Sharn then.
Yep. Hang on.
And
I'm just scrolling through to see. Yes, the quests are at least on the Mania. They were level 17 heroic and 32 on epic. So as you said, basically part 3.
all right. Then that's it in that. All right, because I was originally not planning on Yeah, because on
Going back into
my
Sharn.
theory, yeah, because I thought, well, I won't be going back into Sharn because I have all done all my stuff there. I've saved the beacon and all that stuff. Let's get out of this place.
They're sucking
And
you back in finally.
they're going to have to suck me back in. But I am going to assume that my character did go back and return the beacon before this happened.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, because that beacon is, of course, the important thing, right?
Right, exactly. So yeah, like I said, that was on the Lamania last weekend. I'm assuming we'll get another Lamania build of all this stuff before it goes live.
All right.
They haven't said.
Then that sort of sends me sort of my time scale on getting to level 17 so I can be ready for when this happens.
We'll see. There you go. Perfect timing then.
Perfect timing then, yes. Then, with that out of the way, we have a Standing Stones Games player meetup on Friday, August the 2nd from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern U.S. time in Indianapolis. And this, of course, is in conjunction during Gen Con weekend. And I have a feeling that, barring a super horrible version of the Gen Con crud, Drek is going to be there.
I will, yes. My social anxiety is already through the roof on the prospect of this, but I am going to be there.
uh,
So if you would want
doing an
to.
interview?
Well, not at the party. I do have an interview with Standing Stone scheduled on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
If we can find a place to do it. But
If you
yes.
can find a place to do it, that's
Uh,
always the tricky bit.
yeah, Cordovan, Sev, I think Linabel, and I think maybe one other dev is going to be there. I don't remember who. I think Flimsy Firewood, I think, as it was. I think those are the four that we're going to talk to. But that's going to be on Saturday, not the meetup. The meetup is just a time for fun. So, yes, if you find yourself near Indianapolis or you find yourself at Gen Con, you can come to the meetup. It's being held at the Punch Bowl that is in downtown Indianapolis. It'll be held from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. That is on Friday night. So
And
as you listen to this coming Friday is when it will be. If you listen to it the day it releases on Wednesday. If you listen to it after Friday, sorry, it's in the past.
yeah, I believe that one of the reasons for the selection of 10 p.m. as the end time for it is because at that is as late as someone under 21 is allowed to stay there. It
Yes.
becomes
And Cordovan did work hard to find a place that minors under the age of 21 could actually go. So if you have your kids with you and you play DDO or Lotro, you can bring your kids to this. The Punch Bowl will allow minors in the establishment, but at 10 p.m., anybody under 21 has to leave. This is a bar. Well, it's kind of like a bar,
but that,
restaurant, arcade.
yeah,
It's I've never actually been there, but I went on their website and it sounds freaking amazing actually.
yeah, yeah. It sounds like a place that is going to have plenty of stuff that the children could eat and drink. Also, I
Yes,
presume.
yes, yes. And then there is bowling, there's darts, there's a retro arcade, there is foosball, there's other arcade games. So there's a lot of things that you can do. And you get to hang out with your fellow DDO and Lotro players. And also the people I previously mentioned from Standing Stone. I know they're going to be there. That's all I know Cordovan had talked about being there, but maybe there'll be some other Standing Stone
Yeah,
people there. But it's going to be exciting, so I hope
yeah,
to see everybody Friday nights. And
yeah,
I do want to point out to you, you do not need a Gen Con badge for this. This is downtown Indianapolis. It just is kind of revolving around Gen Con because there will probably be a lot of people for DDO and Lotro at Gen Con because, it kind of mixes with that. But you do not need a Gen Con badge and or a ticket for this. This
yeah.
is a public event.
Yeah, but they do say that they advise you that if you could respond to the RSVP if you're planning on going, it would be nice because they'll know how much food to order since Standing Stones will be buying some food. And of course, you could be you could be rest assured they are not going to overorder because it would be expensive if they did
I'm
so.
sure it would be expensive. So yeah, like I said, Friday night Punch Bowl Indianapolis, which is on Meridian Street in downtown Indianapolis. It's just a couple blocks from the convention center. So hope to see everybody there. I'll be there. Social anxiety and all, but I'll be there. Telling you, I'm freaking out. I'm gonna have to drink heavily
Yeah.
to get through this, but it's fine.
You're gonna have to drink heavily.
It's fine.
Oh well, just avoid those blood diseases.
There you go.
Yes. Let's then head into our DDO Chronicle issue 343, where it looks like looks like something out of the cogs.
I was trying to figure out where this was, and then about the same time you said that, I figured out. I'm like, well, duh, it's in the cogs.
Yes.
I was staring at this for like 2 days. I'm like, where the heck is this? But yeah, of course, it's the cogs. Duh. So we're back to Sharn on the Chronicle. In our DDO news, we talked about the meetup. They reminded you of that in the spotlight. Once again, RSVP if you can, if you plan to go.
Oh,
There,
I love the irony of the DDO bonus days from last weekend.
oh yeah. That was a +5 Reaper XP boost now through July 28th. Yeah. Oh, irony. We have a new video series about a single weapon fighting and swashbucklers. That is by Nibmind Dirgesinger. Apropos name for a bard, I must say, the Dirge Singer. Don't forget the Munchkin Summer Games is continuing with Tower Despair and Caught in the Web, or the raids they're running this weekend. We'll jump right into our fan site news section. DDO Cast. New episode is up. They are prioritizing iconic past lives. In episode 566, we got a shout out for our Gen Con centric episode last week. Damsels of DDO are questing in Wayloon. Click over to watch their latest stream. Those Meddling Kids, that is an amazing name, are getting involved in the secrets of Saltmarsh. And of course, that is part of the D&D Nights on DDO stream. That is Geek Mom. She is running a group of players through the new D&D adventure, The Secrets of Saltmarsh. So check that
Now,
out.
is this so this is very similar to the classic Saltmarsh, right?
Yes.
Or not? Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is, yes. Speaking of, I'm going to have a review of that up on the site soon-ish as well. Too.
Okay.
Something I'm working on. Axel is continuing his delve into his inventory management tips, so click over and watch his part 2 video. DDO is leveling heroics over on Argo, so check out the DDO folks. A Bard Life gets renown. Fridays on Ice, watch that, a cool show. And don't forget about Brock and Friends, bringing the RP fun. So, we've got our Chronicle comment.
Ooh.
If you made a dungeon in DDO, what would it be called?
If I made a dungeon in a DDO dungeon, it's hard for me to get out of my mind the dungeon I built in Minecraft, the Temple of Elemental Pine.
That is pretty awesome.
And okay, what name could I possibly come up with that is better than that one?
True. My answer suits my DM style.
Yeah.
My dungeon would be called You're All Going to Die. And I'm going to enjoy watching it happen. Something along those lines, that it's a work in progress, but it's fine.
I yes.
And we do have our screenshot of the week. That is the 425th DDO screenshot of the week. That is a lot of screenshots. That is Rinwell tries to predict the future in the stars. Thanks, Marcelo, for sending that screenshot in. It's kind of a cool little screenshot.
Okay. Now, here's my question.
Sure.
Concerning I know we have this moon here, and I noticed that to the right of it, you have thing of stars. I'm trying to figure out whether that is supposed to be some sort of a comet-like tail or if that's sort of a Milky Way that's there.
I assumed it was like a Milky Way type thing. I'm not even sure where the screenshot comes from. This is another thing I've been trying to figure out. It looks evening starish to me just because of the way the houses look. So I'm going to guess this is an evening star, but I don't know for sure. I guess next time I'm in evening star at night, I'm going to look up at the sky and see if I see that little Milky Way type thing. I assumed it was like some kind of Milky Way constellation type deal is what I figured it was.
All right. I would
It's an awesome
presume
screenshot,
that you
though.
have something in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Then with that, we shall head into our store sales. And is there anything exciting for this week?
Well, we have the McRib of DDO. It is
Uh-oh.
back. Through August 4th, get your DDO McRib, a.k.a. the Autos boxes. Epic Auto boxes and improved Auto boxes are now on sale, as I said, through August 4th. So go, go, go. If you've been waiting for the McRib to come back, now's your chance. The Adventure and Advanced sale is going on, 20% off a select adventure packs. Always cracks me up. It's select adventure packs. Quest XP elixirs. That runs through August the 1st. And don't forget about our summer sale. That is continuing. 35% off Mirrors of Glamoring. 50% off the Half-Elf Race. 50% off character slots. And 75% off Epic Destinies. Also through August 1st. And our weekly coupon code is a lesser Treasure Hunters Elixir. Coupon code Hunt Treasure. Now through, conveniently, August the 1st as well. It's amazing how that always works out every week.
Then let's go and see what's coming in from the dungeon. Where Tyranny of Dragons is being re-release is coming from WotC. Now, why is this significant news?
It is significant news because 5 years ago, D&D 5th edition was released.
Whee!
And it has been the most successful, which I would like to see the numbers on this, but WotC says it is the most successful edition of D&D. And to celebrate this, they are going to do a special edition of the Tyranny of Dragons. It's going to be a 224-page adventure book. And if you're not familiar with what the heck the Tyranny of Dragons is, that was the first 2 adventures that were released for D&D 5th edition. It's the Hoard of the Dragon Queen and the Rise of Tiamat. So they're going to combine those 2 books into one book, special 224-page adventure. They're going to add some things. They're going to change a few things around. It's going to take you all the way from level 1 to level 16 as you're going to contend against a cult of the dragon who is trying to bring their queen Tiamat to the Forgotten Realms.
I'm going to assume that the cover that we are seeing there is Tiamat and not 5 different dragons.
Correct. That is Tiamat. And that's another thing that's kind of special about this. This is only going to be available at your friendly local game store. And it has a special edition cover by Hydro74, who that name might sound familiar to you. He has done a lot of these special edition books on the past ever since... I think the first one was Xanathar's Guide to Everything was the first one Hydro did. They always do, on all the books, they always do like a special edition cover for game stores only. And like then if you order like through any other retail outlet, you will just get the regular cover. But this one's only going to have a special edition cover because you're going to be able to get it at your friendly local game store. You can pre-order it now, coming out later this summer.
Now then, let's go and see what's on the tabletop. where I hear that you will be doing some coverage from Gen Con. What's it going to include this year?
Well, 14 interviews scheduled.
Ouch.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've got 3 more that are pending. And then I know I have 2 or 3 that I'm hoping to get. I don't have any PR contacts, so I couldn't actually set up a interview with the companies. So I'm just going to stop by the booth and say, hey, you want to talk about your game here? So we'll
Oh,
see how that goes. But at least 14 official interviews, which I would have to look back, but I'm pretty sure that is the most interviews we've ever done at Gen Con.
that is going to be
So,
crazy.
that is crazy. I'm going to be super busy the next 4 days. Still
Yeah.
gonna try to enjoy Gen Con as much as I can,
How? I don't know,
but I
but
don't know either.
you are
But
definitely going to demonstrate that you're taking that press pass seriously.
exactly, exactly. You can't say I'm not here to be pressed. That is very true. So yeah, we're gonna just a couple of the people we're gonna talk to. We're gonna talk to Goliath Games, Robbinsburger, DB Gachi. Gonna talk to Japan Anime, of course Yellow. We're gonna talk to Funko actually about their new Funko Universe game. So I'm excited to talk to that, and I'm gonna stop by Modipius, talk to them. That's just a couple hints of what's to come. But as I said, 14 official interviews. I've got 3 pending, and 2 or 3 I'm just gonna stop by and see what happens. So
Okay.
lots of interviews coming. Of course, that'll be after Gen Con. I bring the videos home and edit them and release those. But if you follow us on Twitter or you're following us on Facebook, you'll see posts. I'm gonna post from the show. I'll post pictures of stuff I see, pictures of the cosplayers, and just kind of kind of keeping you up to date on what's going on. If there's any like breaking news, I'll post it there. I'll try to do a post. I am taking my laptop with me. So once I get back to the hotel room, I might try to do a post if there's something like big that breaks. Which the only thing right now that I know of that might be like huge news that's going to break that hasn't already been announced is Fantasy Flight Games has their in-flight report on Wednesday evening.
Right.
So that's when they kind of release stuff leading up to Gen Con, but then they save like one huge thing to release at Gen Con. Last year, that's when they talked about Keyforge for the first time. They
Well, yeah, that was a
announced,
big announcement.
yeah. So there's a lot of speculation on what it could be this year, but we'll have to see. I do plan on going to the in-flight report, so I might actually be live tweeting from said report as I'm sitting there.
Ooh.
So we'll see. But as I said, just make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. And then once I get back, you'll get all the interviews. And don't forget our Gen Con coverage brought to you by the fine folks, our friends over at the Skull Splitter Dice Company, skullsplitterdice.com. If you're a brand new customer, you have never ordered from them before, tell them DDO players sent you, and you're going to get yourself a free set of dice just for mentioning DDO players. So that's pretty
Whee!
cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Gen Con, big deal. I have had a couple of people ask me, have sent me some DMs on Twitter and a couple of Facebook messages. Can I still donate to the GoFundMe? Absolutely, you can. If you would like to, you can. We are at $175 currently. So if you want to donate, go ahead and do that. I appreciate all of the anonymous donors that have donated so far, but I did have a couple of people ask me, as I said on Twitter and such. Yes, you can still donate. Go ahead and do it. The way GoFundMe works, I can actually get the money transferred to my account pretty quickly. So if you were on the fence, if you were waiting, now's the time. The clock is a ticking. That's all I'm
Tick,
saying.
tick, 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 tick.
I am leaving Wednesday morning. Ungodly time of 6 a.m.
6 a.m. I thought you and 6 a.m. didn't get along with each other.
Well, we don't, so it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this works out.
All right. Then I'll go into a question for you, and that is, what is the wingspan of just one Viking?
Wow, Pineleaf. That well played, sir. That I think was one of your best segues ever. Well played. I am golf clapping for you right now.
Golf clapping.
Golf clap, yes. For the astute among you, Pineleaf made a really funny Spiel des Jahres joke because that was all the winners this year. Yeah, we actually do know the winners. We talked about the Kenderspiel a little earlier, a couple weeks ago, and that was Valley of the Vikings from Haba. But we do know who won the actual game of the year, I should say. Words are very
Oh
hard for
boy.
me for some reason. Yeah, the Spiel des Jahres Game of the Year went to just one. That is by Repost Productions. Not familiar with the game at all. It's a cooperative word game. The idea behind the game is that one person must guess a word from a card, and everyone gives clues. The catch is that each clue may only be a single word, and any duplicate clues are erased before presenting them to the guesser. Okay. I mean, it sounds like your typical party game. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to check it out now that it won Game of the Year. And then the Kennerspiel went to Wingspan. I think at this point, anybody that follows any tabletop has either A, heard of Wingspan, or B, played Wingspan.
Yes.
That's an engine building game, but the theme is a little different than a lot of board games. You're collecting and spotting birds, and you're placing them into their corresponding habitats.
Yeah. Rado was going through his most anticipated games for Gen Con for this year, and he was essentially using the list that we were discussing during our last episode, I believe it was.
Oh, the Board Game Geek list?
Yeah, during the Board Game Geek list. But he said, but there are 3 games which he said that he was definitely not going to include on the list, despite being on the Board Game Geek. He said Wingspan. He said he's been playing Wingspan since January. It's been available for January. Why in the world is it on this?
Yeah, I agree with Rado there. I'd seen that, and there was another game that's been available since.
There are 3 games that he struck off for that reason. Yes,
and I'm like, well, I don't. Okay, sure, whatever. But congratulations to everybody that won the Spiel this year.
Then let's head into a little announcement by Simon, who announces Taburu gaming system. Oh, Taburu gaming system, and that looks a little interesting, as in strange.
Yeah, it is. And I was curious to see how you pronounce this because I've heard it both ways.
What? Okay, you've heard it Taburu. How else have you heard it done?
Taburu. I'm pretty sure it's. Well, and I've also heard it Taburu too. So I don't know exactly how you pronounce it because I don't really know Japanese that well.
Oh, it's Japanese?
It's Japanese for table.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody speaks Japanese, feel free to tell us exactly how it's pronounced because I've heard it at least 3 different ways.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Taburu. Taburu sounds. That would be my guess if it's.
That's how most people are pronouncing it.
Yeah. That would be nice if we. Sometimes wish I had my old D&D group and I could ask Yoshiko how she would pronounce it.
Well, hey, there you go. See? So, yes, if you are Japanese or you speak Japanese, let us know if we're butchering this name. But
well,
yes.
Probably we are.
Oh, I'm sure we are.
I'm sure we do plenty of ways in which we butcher words in Japanese, and they have plenty of ways to butcher words in English.
Yep. But yes, this has been announced from Come On. This is easily way to describe this is it's a playmat, but it's a smart playmat.
Smart playmat.
The first game that is going to be available for this is going to be Zombicide Las Vegas. I'm sorry, Zombicide Evolution Las Vegas.
Okay.
And you're going to place tiles and miniatures on the mat. And each of the minis and the tiles are going to have pretty much essentially RFID chips in them. So you're going to have an iPad, our Android tablet. They said it's going to work on both. That is going to control the action. So it's going to tell you what to do. It's also going to play sound effects and other things. And then each player can either have a tablet or their smartphone, and that's going to be your specific controller. So you'll be able to change cards, do whatever, and then the app is going to interact with the smart mat, as it were, and then the controller, iPad or tablet, whichever, is going to control the action of the game.
This is
Right?
all sounding like overcomplicated to me.
It kind of is, really. The first chance to actually see this is going to be at Gen Con, so I'm excited to actually check this out. This is going to be a Kickstarter, of course.
Of
Because,
course.
come on, makes a gabillion dollars on other Kickstarters, so we'll see how high this goes.
We'll
But
see
yeah,
how many megabucks.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, Zombicide Evolution, Las Vegas is going to be the first game. They did say they're going to bring some other games of theirs to the system, and they eventually would like other board game companies to license the system to bring their games to the system as well. So we'll see.
We'll see. The other companies are definitely going to wait and watch to see how it does before they.
Right. It's essentially an app with a game mat that's going to take the place of any app that is for a game, is the easiest way to describe it. You're just kind of adding a few things into it, and I don't know.
Yeah. I'm a little skeptical at the moment.
Yeah, they say it's going to improve your experience of playing physical games.
I'm sorry, anything that involves taking an iPhone, trying to find a place to put it, and having it drop all over the place and all that fun stuff. I don't know.
We'll definitely see. Like I said, if you're going to be attending Gen Con, you're going to get your first look at this. I definitely plan on stopping by and checking it out. So we'll see what we think about it.
Right, then let's head into our week in gaming.
Kind of crickets and tumbleweeds, kind of.
I
actually played this week. So.
Oh, yes, you did. Okay, I see what happened is that there was this long space between the start and where you had a lot of stuff. So I thought, oh, what? There was nothing there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not sure why that weird space is on the show notes there. We'll have to correct that.
Well.
Yeah, I did what we did with you. We did another episode of Heaven and Hell, which we should be finishing it next week is the plan. We'll let you talk about that. And then over on Wayfinder, of course, the Hiram got together. That is, of course, Tay, Rent, and Lessa, and myself. We ran House Kendarik, The Vault of Night. Ran that on Epic. We're trying to flag for the dragon, so that's why we were running that. And then we are also running some Evening Star Quest because we're trying to get some weapon drops out of there. As I said when we were playing, a good story always starts with, Lessa said we should do this. So that's what we did. And I actually got a dagger that can take a sentient. So I have my sentient weapon now, which is exciting. Yeah. So once again,
you're a rogue.
Yeah. Right. Well, I am, of course.
Okay, good.
And then, like I said, any good story starts with Lessa said. So that's what we did. And then Lessa also said, let's do House Bjarlin Carnival. And so we're like, okay, so that's what we did. See, there's like this pattern of Lessa saying stuff and we do it. Not quite sure what that says about us, but we'll see. So we ran a small problem that was on Epic Normal. So next time we play, we're going to jump in to do the rest of those House of Yarlin quests. And then we'll go back to Evening Star and do some of those quests. And eventually we're going to get a level, and then we're going to do Ravenloft so we can start getting our sentient gems and all that fun stuff. And I can actually experience a sentient weapon for the first time, which I'm getting excited about. That was pretty much it. That was my week. So
Yeah,
a little bit.
I suppose that if you go to the headache of doing a small problem, you might as well do the rest of the chain, right?
Well, that's very, very true. But Lisa actually has a very efficient way of doing that quest.
Which he does.
She does, yes. That was, and I even said this when we were playing. I'm like, this is the first time I ran this quest where I actually didn't hate it. So, and it's like not as bad as like other quests. It's just annoying, but we ran it pretty efficiently. So, as I said, the first time I ran that, where I actually semi enjoyed it.
Okay.
So that was my week. As I said, I did a little this week, so slowly getting games played. It's a start, one small
Okay.
step, and all that.
One small step.
How about you, Pine? What'd you do?
All right, we will begin with what we did together, and that was our Heaven and Hell series, where we did No Refunds, House of Pain, and Blown Deadline. And I think that went reasonably well, based on what I remember.
Yeah, I did, and I kind of enjoyed all those quests. They were fairly short. I mean, it didn't take too long, so
Right.
that's nice.
The
They're fun.
last
They
one, yeah, the last one can be long, especially the first time that you do it. So,
they had a
which
good
they'll need next time.
story, quest line, all that. So
Yeah. Then for my Dragonborn series, I ran Missing. Then in Minecraft, I think I told you last week that I was planning to go against an ocean monument. And let's see
yes,
how I did on this thing. And I was shocked that I actually managed to take out all three of the Elder Guardians in that place, because that's what makes ocean monuments a real pain, are the Elder Guardians, because they put this horrendous debuff on you that makes mining take some ridiculously long amount of time to do. It's like 10 or 20 times as long to mine anything.
holy crap!
Yeah, it's a really, really nasty debuff. And of course, the only way to get rid of it would be to drink milk. But since you're underwater and you probably have water breathing potions, drinking the milk, of course, gets all effects on you, and that includes your water breathing potion. So it's quite a lot of challenge in there. And you pretty much have to live with either have some other means of breathing underwater, or else just live with it. So that means I had to go in, try to get to the Guardians by swimming through and all that stuff. And I don't know, I was surprised that I managed to navigate that place, because I've never really properly navigated an ocean monument before. Now, I think I probably should have, if I was drinking water potions anyway. Maybe I should have also have drunk some night vision potions so I could see better in the dark, but I didn't think about that until I finished the whole thing.
In minor details.
Minor details. I will say it didn't go perfectly, but I will say it went a lot better than I was expecting to. And because I thought I might be able to get a small amount of stuff there, and that I'll probably have to give up after killing one of them or something like this. But no, I managed to get all three of them and succeed. I could check that off my achievement list, I guess. Then in the July Mage Rage, where I ran week number 4, I actually had my first experience where I ran into a jungle temple. You would think that as long as I've been playing Minecraft, that I would have at some point have run to a jungle. It's, you run to desert temples like they're candy, but jungle temples, because I have a feeling that they're a little bit rarer than desert temples, and B, because jungles are so thick with trees and other vegetation that it's very easy to miss one. A desert temple, you could see that way, way far away. So if there's I mean, there could be twice as many jungle temples as there are desert temples, and you wouldn't know it because they're so hard to find the jungle temples in the first place. It just feels like that they're rarer than desert temples, at least. Though I think that jungles are rarer than desert in the first place, so that could also be a contributing factor there. And the fact that I tend to avoid jungles. But then you can see there, so first time completing an ocean monument, my first time getting through a jungle temple. Then in tabletop, now I don't know what possessed me to get this game.
Okay, that's a good way to start the story.
I decided to try Mage Knight.
What the hell are you thinking?
I know. I guess I didn't realize. I thought that it couldn't possibly be as
Uh,
huge a table hog
it's
as Gloomhaven.
I was gonna say that's like Gloomhaven Junior, basically in table size wise, and you're always like,
I'm
"Oh,
not
I
too
want
sure.
small games."
I'm
Oh
not
my
too
god,
sure. I'm not too sure about the junior bit in there, but
that's hilarious!
yeah,
Oh my god,
I
that's
I just
great.
barely fit that into the space I had in there when playing. And some of the later scenarios, I'm not too sure how I'm gonna fit the later scenarios into it.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that is a huge table hog. That's why I gotta say about Mage Knight in there.
I mean, the box itself didn't give it away.
Well, you would think so, but yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my
And
god, that's
what's
great.
gonna be really hilarious, of course, is when in the next couple of weeks when my copy of Edge of Darkness comes out, and the more I hear about it, the huger it sounds. It's like, "Oh, yeah, this is Gloomhaven. This is Edge of Darkness." I think that if you took a tape measure and measured their cubic capacity, it'll come out to be about the same thing, like about 10 liters or something, At least that's what it feels like. Maybe I will have to measure it out. But anyway, so I played the first scenario to Mage Knight on there. And then I decided, let's play something with a saner amount of table space and play some Imperial Settlers, the dice game.
Talk about your opposite extremes.
Well, opposite extremes would have been to play Palm Island after it.
Well, okay, true, but I mean, Imperial Settlers dice game is just a little itty bitty game. It takes up a little itty bitty space. Consider,
Right.
wow, I still can't believe you like even bought Mage. Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know. That's you could call it temporary insanity or something like that. Yes. And then for tabletop apps, I played some Aeons End where Zastos versus Rageborn, which is that was the final character I had on the app in which to play against Rageborn in a solo run. And I figure after this, I'm going to experiment with playing two mages. I've never played with two mages before because of table space reasons. So I've always played single mage, but on the app, of course, I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to experiment with playing two mages and see how that goes. We currently have 18 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And I heard that someday,
Yeah,
Dracula.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Someday,
Someday.
but today is not the day.
This is especially just before Gen Con.
Right, someday.
Yes.
Probably not this week at all, but someday.
Yes.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yes.
But see, now they have to be like totally epic because it's taken me this long to like come up with all this stuff. So
Right.
I'm gonna like come up with this stuff, and people are like, "It took you this long to come up with this crap, really?"
This week we have no emails, but if you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast at ddoplayers.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter at the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Dracula at Dracula_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. Or you could follow us at Twitch on Dracula's Twitch channel, twitch.tv Draculita_72. The Players Alliance has two shows. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. usage time, we have DDO Players, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. usage time, we have Locho Players. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for today, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.